So I'm going to play one more here if that's all right, and then we'll wrap. Yeah. So a couple days ago, it's funny. I've been, we're all you're here because you're thinking about politics and stuff. I guess that's and this election, which is really, really important, and I truly believe that. That's why I'm here. But it's funny. A couple days ago, I tweeted something out about supporting the NDP campaign and all that, and you get a lot of feedback when you put yourself out there, and most of it was positive, and then of course you get some folks who are like, what the fuck are you doing? But that's par for the course. But it gave me a little insight into Robert's world and folks who are running for office, and if you take a stand on something and you open your mouth, there's of course going to be people who don't see eye to eye with you, and that's so there is that challenge of and I think sometimes as a musician, people often have asked me too. I'm doing a couple interviews about the fact that I'm talking about how I feel about things, and who I'm supporting, and all these things, and so people want to talk to me more, and a lot of the questions are like, so why aren't more musicians speaking up and this and that? I think for me personally, I feel a sort of, I just can't keep my mouth shut anymore, so I'm going to open my mouth and talk about the things I care about. But I also think as a musician, for me, I never really felt like, I think a lot of musicians grow up not feeling like they're on the team. They are not on the sports team, so they don't join teams as easily, if you know what I'm saying, right? I'm not saying that, I'm not speaking on behalf of, this is just something I've thought about. It's just a personal opinion about maybe what keeps people from speaking up sometimes, in particular in the arts. Not everybody voices their opinion. Partly because of the public blowback, if you say something that's, it's going to get you a bunch of grief. But also because sometimes you're making your way through the world as an artist in a sort of solitary way. But having said that, I think I'm really hopeful that change is afoot. I think this is a great event. I really think Robert's doing a fantastic job in this community, and I think having a representative in Ottawa on behalf of Dartmouth Harbour, we have a lot of folks leaving Nova Scotia, right? That's a problem, and so as much as we can pull for this community and for this part of the world, it's really important to have a voice there in Ottawa. So that's my long spiel. Robert, we're pulling for you, so keep spreading the word. So this is a little song that I wrote into a dictaphone. I wrote most of my songs about home when I'm away, so this was no exception. I wrote it into a dictaphone outside of Philadelphia on the way to Mesa, Arizona, where I made a record with a guy named Bob Hogue. He invited me down to make a record for free in the year 2004. I'd never met him before. He emailed me and said, would you like to come make a record for free? And I said, and I thought, I better research this guy on the internet and determine if he's a freak. So I researched him on the internet and determined, yes, this man's a freak. It's time to go to Mesa, Arizona to make a record. And so I drove down there, and I had this dictaphone, a little cassette player on the seat beside me, and I wrote a lot of songs on the way, and this was one that was a cappella, and then it found its way to the guitar. And it certainly owes a debt to Sloan, good friends of mine who were a big influence on me, as well as Al Tuck, a great writer from Prince Edward Island, who sort of in a roundabout way finds his way into this song after he lost everything to an apartment fire a number of years ago. So anyway, we sing it for all the friends here. Listen up, kids. It's not what you think. Stayed out too late. Had a little too much to drink. We walked home across the bridge when the marquee shut down. There's a reason that I love this town. Nobody cares how much money you have. If you've got enough to get in a cab, there will be drinks on the house if your house burns down. There's a reason that I love this town. I saw your band in the early days. We all understand why you moved away. We'll hold a grudge anyway. No grudges for this individual in the next verse. He lives in Toronto now. We won't hold that against him. I sing to you. I shot the shit with Miniature Tim. If he needs a hit, I could write one for him. We like the same books and we like the same sounds. There's a reason that I love this town, but they're not all the same. They treat you wrong. Open up your eyes wherever you are, even at the local coffee shop, and pay them back in song. And I sing to you, I played a show in Kelowna last year. They said, pick it up, Joel, we're dying in here. Picture one hand clapping, now picture half that sound. There's a reason why I hate that town. If you saw my band in the early days, then you will understand why we moved away. Yeah, but you'll hold a grudge anyway, because it's fun. That's pretty much why I hold my grudge against Kelowna, because it's fun. And this song's controversial in my family. My wife was born there. People say, where did this grudge against Kelowna come from? I say it came from the town of Kelowna when they treated me wrong after a show. Guy was really, we played this show to a pretty empty room. There was about this many people there, actually. They were just all at the back talking and nobody was paying attention. And after the show, this guy came up to me and he was really enthusiastic and he said, hey man, were you in the band? And I said, yeah, I was. And then he said to me, you fucking suck. And I thought, you prick, I'll get you in your town back for the rest of time. But Twitter's alive right now. There's like Twitter's going bonkers right now because it's Joel Plaskett insults Kelowna at NDP rally. Everything's going crazy. Don't tweet that. That'll. No, but actually, I've made my amends with Kelowna. I've gone back there and had good shows since then. But nonetheless, La-Di-Da, my record in Arizona is not my in-laws' favorite record, to say the least. But my wife has forgiven me, and all is right with the world. I'm sweating. There's helium balloons on the wall. We're gonna wrap this up. Good luck with the rest of the campaign. I'll be watching and supporting, and get out there and talk until you can't talk anymore, and then hopefully things will change. How does that sound? Last verse, thank you. Davy and me, face down in our soup, in some French restaurant outside Rivière de Lou, the last night of the tour, and we rocked that joint to the ground. And then I opened up my eyes and I time traveled to the year 2015 here at the wonderful Tuath by Sea Canteen Complex, and everybody in here was singing it for their hometown at the top of their lungs so they could hear it over in the Dartmouth Commons Park, and it sounded like this. There's a reason I love this town. They got louder than that, prouder than that. There's a reason I love this town. And again, there's a reason I love this town. One more time on your own right now. There's a reason I love it. You wrote it, not me. Keep up the hard work.
Joel Plaskett, everyone. Woo! He and Robert Chisholm are the reasons why I love this town.